Thank you for tuning into The Ground Sound. My name is Ben.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Josh.
And we have so very much to talk about today. Everything from over to underneath the ground. Hashtag Ground Sound.
We have a very special guest today. Neil Armstrong.
Wow. I can't believe that we
Neil,
got
it
Neil.
is so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How's the
After
moon?
all these years.
That was a terrible joke. We have Jon O'Brien with us from the underground OC scene, producer, engineer, musician, lover.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, John. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
As are we.
Great.
Ready to talk about some music?
Let's do it. Oh, no, let's talk about some beer first.
Oh, that's right.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Well, today I picked up 3 delicious, delicious beers. The first one of which is by New Belgium. It's called something. La Folie. I don't know. It's a sour. It's delicious.
Good.
It's a sour and it's delicious.
The second one is from Great Divide called Espresso Oaked Age Yeti.
It's
and that's
the
an
Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti. It's an Imperial Stout.
Yeah, a big old 10% beer. It is delicious.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
And the last one is from a very local brewery called Valiant, and it's called Valiant.
Yes.
it's Jericho. We actually went to the bottling this year, didn't we?
Yeah, we
that
did.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. They released this bottle and started distributing it, and we went to it. It was great. It's a great double IPA, and we're always trying to support the local stuff. So, boom.
Let's cheers, guys.
Here is to
Cheers.
Orange County beer and all things music. Long live the OC Underground.
Oh, that's delicious. That is delicious.
We got to get ourselves a new sponsor
We do.
because we are losing money so quick on beer.
Yeah. Well, we're not losing money. We're just losing beer.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
What was the last sponsor you guys had?
The last sponsor we had was Ballast Point.
Okay. Yeah, I actually went out and bought their beer
right.
after watching.
Hey.
That's right.
Wow,
Very
listen to
good.
that. Ballast
Yeah.
Point. We
Yeah.
got you at least one customer.
One customer.
So, yay.
Yeah. and with your endorsement, John, we will get thousands upon thousands of other people drinking the stuff, right?
True.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because your following is so enormous and you're the most known guy on the planet.
No, he really is. It's crazy.
Well, that's great.
If you say so.
If you say so.
Well,
Cool.
let's move on to our discovery segment, shall we?
Let's get into it. Today in the local realm, we're talking about the great old band. Well, not that old, but we're talking about the wonderful band, the lowly Spects.
Yeah.
These guys are so fantastic. It's kind of a melody-driven folk project. They like to do bare bones stuff, and I haven't heard one bad thing come out of them. They're really, really tight project.
I agree.
I hate to say this, but I've actually never seen them play live before.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I'm kidding you. I'm not.
Wait, so you're not
I
kidding?
have not seen them live, and I kick myself because I know they're playing shows all over the place. Well, no.
They were.
And
Yeah.
do they have a residency coming up? Is that theirs?
Not that I know of.
No residency, but they're still playing.
They're still playing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I remember Lonely Wild.
Yeah, Lonely
That's
Wild.
the
Yeah,
residency.
there's an L in there
No,
somewhere.
this is one of 3 kind of confusing names. There's Lonely Wild, Lowly Specks,
Yellow
and
Red
Yellow
Sparks.
Red Sparks,
Yeah.
and
And
Flying Sparks. I don't know why I always get people always get those confused, but I do. I
do
know.
too, yeah. I totally agree. Well, let's play the first song. This one's called My Dead Body, off of their something. What's the name of the record, John?
I should know this.
Hardest Man to Love.
Man to
There
Love.
it is. Hardest Man to Love.
There it is.
All right, so here you go. Enjoy.
All that's true gets locked inside. And will I ever find it? Will I ever find it? Spending your time pushing me away. And do I ever mind it? Do I ever mind it? Oh my Lord, it's a shame. Oh my Lord, who's to blame? That my dead body's on the water, body's on the water. Her kind of love is a terrible array of what she is not finding, what she is not finding. She falls apart, but holds it all in. Oh, love is still unwinding, said, go away now. And then my dead bodies on the water, bodies on the water. Oh, 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 oh,
Yeah, excellent. That's some good stuff. I really wish we knew the engineer and producer who did that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if we just were able to have him on our show?
Yeah,
so
and we could
ask
talk to him about the process
Just
and all that
what the
other good
experience
stuff.
Hey guys, I'm
like-
here.
Wow!
It's Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, John, you produced this album, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the last EP that I did out of my parents' house.
Wow. Before you moved into the music
Yeah,
box.
it was right when we were doing the build out while I was recording that EP.
Wow, so it's got some sentimental value, huh?
Yeah, the basically like the first night, like stuff was in the studio. We went there and we put a little bit of piano.
Oh, cool.
And like the group vocals at the end of that track.
Nice.
And stuff like that.
So that's literally the first recording. Some of that stuff was the first recording of the Music Box Studios?
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's history right there.
There's
It
still
is.
tools all over the place, and we
Yeah.
tracked all that stuff.
That's rad.
Very cool. I was gonna say you could hear the tools in the room.
Yeah.
You really
They
could.
vibrate
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
nice ambiance.
Yeah. No, that's
Totally.
that's very cool. Now, how was it working with them? I mean, I'd imagine it fairly easy because I've heard them not have any kind of amplification. They still sound good. I mean,
Yeah.
were they a good band to work
Yeah,
with?
Ethan's great on vocals and guitar. His songwriting's great.
Yeah.
And him and Tyler and Trevor just really mesh well together.
Yep.
And it was one of those projects where we just had the same idea of how it should sound, and we did it. There wasn't really a lot of talking back and forth as to like getting on the same page and whatnot.
Now each player, I mean, they're versatile. They can play
Yeah.
many different things. Did you guys try to keep the songs to sound like there's three people playing, or did you kind of put some embellishments on there, to make a bigger sound? Have like 4 or 5 things going at the same time.
Yeah,
sort of
there's
thing?
definitely multiple things going on,
Yeah.
and there's never been like an official bass player in that band either.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So shortly after the EP came out, I was playing for them for a little while.
That's
I
right.
thought I
Yeah.
remember seeing
Yeah.
you on stage. With
So yeah, and I love playing with those guys. They're great guys. But yeah, we definitely didn't hold back just because there was only 3 people.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. I wanted to ask you, and I don't remember what I was going to ask you.
Nice.
This album was released. Was it this year?
It was last year, I think. Maybe towards the end of last year.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because we finished recording it probably a year ago.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I guess it did come out the
So
end of
so it
last
came
year.
out within the year, and then they released something recently that you also had your hand in the last a couple months or so.
Yeah, as a single called Blue Sky, which was actually a song that was meant to go on the EP, and we started recording it, and we nixed it in the middle of recording and just said,
Doesn't
it's not coming across the way we want it to for some reason. Just needs a little more time to breathe and develop as a song. Then we came back, and that was the song, and we knocked it out in a day or so.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy how you can, when you take a step back, it's easy. It can be easy to get back into something that was giving you such headaches before.
Yeah. Well, I think what we learned was, like, that song we just listened to, there's 0 electric guitars on that.
Awesome.
It's only acoustic and banjo and piano and percussion and a lot of fuzz bass, actually, believe it or not.
Nice.
There's a whole bunch of big muff on that bass being on there.
Nice.
You would never know by listening to it. But so when we went back to reapproach Blue Sky, basically that's the same approach we took. There's no electric guitars on that, nothing. And we kind of learned that from from My Dead Body and what we wanted to do with it.
Nice.
That's pretty
Wow,
impressive.
very cool.
I honestly didn't realize that there was no electric guitar, but it still sounds like a huge song. And I don't know if it's because of the dynamics of the drums sound huge.
Yeah.
First of all, yeah. And I guess the acoustics and guitar sounds big enough to fill in that space that you might expect electric to sit in.
Yeah,
And that chanting as well really fills it in.
Yep.
each thing has a lot of texture to it. And the floor tom, we actually surrounded it by about 5 snare drums that have the snares on. So each time you're sitting there.
That is a good idea.
That's bananas.
That's very
I'm
cool.
gonna
That's
rip
awesome.
that idea off of you.
You just gave away like a secret.
know.
Like that's a mistake.
You might want to retract that
Yeah.
statement.
All right, we're gonna bleep that out for you.
Yeah, so fuzz bass and snares around the floor tom. That's the sound of that song.
That's
Perfect
very
sound.
cool. That's
Oh,
very
that's
cool.
super awesome.
Now, does that single you just talked about, does that mark possibly some new material from them, as in that a new EP?
Yeah, you know, they're writing a lot.
Yeah.
And they're constantly writing. And I would love to be a part of the next project, whatever happens with it. I've heard some demos and they're really great songs. Yeah,
I think they could do better though.
probably.
You probably get someone producing them who knows their stuff rather.
Like you, right, Derek?
Yeah. Lowly Spects, come to me.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
3 snare drums and a tom. It's gonna be great.
It's actually only 2
Yeah.
snare drums, but
Yeah,
Very
well,
cool.
What are you gonna do?
Getting away from the production of them as a live act, and Derek, I wish you were able
Yeah,
to
I
see them
know.
because they can pull it off live. They do so much with such minimum, bare bones stuff. The
Yeah,
three of those
Totally.
guys are strong. That's a strong trio right there.
and I believe they were the band you were talking about one episode where you said they would even like come down from the stage
Yeah.
and play
right.
in the crowd.
I think they end each set by just unplugging everything, going straight in the middle of the crowd, and just playing the next song that we're gonna play a clip of.
Yep.
That is
every
so
single time.
cool.
That's a good transition. Hey, let's play
Yeah.
Let's play the clip.
Let's do it.
You're gonna be well. You're gonna be well. You're gonna be well. You're gonna be well.
All right, so John just let us know. Oh, first of all, we forgot to applause. But while we were listening to it, John told me that I was wrong. It's not the song they play at the end of the set. Apparently, they opened the set with this, so I was totally freaking wrong. But either way,
Actually, you know what? I might even be wrong.
okay, you know what?
They don't open the
Hey,
set
Ethan,
with
if
it.
you're watching this,
Yeah.
you let us know.
Yeah,
comment in
Comment,
there
subscribe.
somewhere. I don't know.
You were all wrong.
Either way, I do love the fact that they end each concert by just stripping it down and playing an acoustic set in the middle of the crowd, because it's really and we did mention this, like there's an amount of respect in the crowd. People, they shut the hell up and they listen, you
Yep.
know, because he's a very talented guy and people want to hear him. So
Yep, yeah.
kudos to him.
Yeah,
And,
and the band just demands respect. You know, I mean, when they're hitting the 3-part harmonies, I never hear anything that's any pitchy in there. They're all playing their instruments. I love when they incorporate that banjo. And I always like to mention this. The first time I saw them was at the Commonwealth Lounge, and it was kind of a weird hodgepodge of bands who played, but Lowly Spects was there playing with. There was maybe 2 other somewhat hard rock bands, and they came on and didn't play any electric instruments. Oh man! So
Promoted that show.
I'm not going to say, because I never mind. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, they didn't play with any electric instruments, and they were just up there with the bare bones. There was a drum kit up there. There was an acoustic guitar on Ethan. There was a banjo, and probably some other stuff that they interchanged. But I remember being very impressed by that show, and it was just a real solid mixing of folk. Really, is what it was.
I think a big part of them being so tight as the trio is that they've lived together for a while now.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So I think that's really
You know,
where
I think you can hear that.
yeah,
on-
you can hear
on the
the
recordings.
yeah.
Yeah, you hear them buttering toast in the morning and making cereal and coffee.
so
Yeah.
that you know,
Right.
living together, they get to just sit around in their living room and
Yeah.
just
It's always
sing a
practice.
3-part
Yeah.
harmony.
Yeah, that's a good way to live. You know, like you're all watching like a football game, and
then
instead of like
commercial.
yelling at it,
Yeah.
everybody like makes a harmony, like field goal. You know? Field goal. Yeah. No,
That was bad. That was bad. I'm
it
sorry,
was,
guys.
It was. No, but that's I didn't know that about
Yeah.
them. That's cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to know the first time I heard Ethan play?
When's that?
I worked at a church back in the day.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
he
right.
led worship on Sunday nights. I worked at Mariners Church, and that's when I met him. And believe it or not, I think we took a history of rock class together at IVC too. So we go way back.
Oh, you and him are like best buds.
Oh
huh?
yeah, dude.
You were like the fourth member.
I am the fourth member. Yeah, and I wrote all the songs on that EP.
Are you the one playing bass now?
Yeah.
Better believe it.
But excellent job, Lily Spects. You can pick up the record on iTunes and Bandcamp, I believe. Again, it's called a. Damn, I forgot the name of the record.
The
again.
hardest man
The
to
hardest
love.
The
man to
hardest
love.
man to love. Show them some love. Pick up their
Because
music.
Josh surely is not.
Yeah. Show them extra love for
Yeah,
Josh.
Yeah.
Go see him live. I haven't seen them do anything recently on a consistent level.
Yeah.
But I think Ethan just got married, engaged, didn't he? Isn't that
Engaged,
something
yes.
new?
Oh,
So
wow.
you know,
Congrats.
the man's getting his life together, and we'll see him after he's
Finally.
he's
And-
fat and has children.
I'm on their website
Website?
right now, and it doesn't look like they have any upcoming shows. So
Well, we just caught them like at Detroit Bar not too long ago. So.
yeah.
right.
The last show, well, they were at the Detroit bar on November 13th. It looks like.
Yeah,
and
that
then
sounds about right.
They played in LA the day after, and then a week later or so they played in San Diego, and that's the last show that they have.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
hopefully they play one soon.
They'll be back. You know, they're those guys who always come back and do
Yeah,
something.
totally.
Cool.
Totally.
All right, guys. Well, let's move on to our non-local
Yeah.
discovery.
Now, we put the ball in John's court to show us something that we haven't heard before, hoping that he's worked with some decent bands in the past or what have you, or knows some people. So I'm gonna let you introduce these guys, John.
Okay. This is a band called the Sea Party. I actually met them when I was assisting for a producer, and he was recording some songs for them. And I just showed up one day, and I asked, "Who are we recording today?" And he said the Sea Party. And
Cool.
that was the first time I'd ever heard them, and I just really, really liked their music.
Nice,
Cool.
So,
What can we expect out of this? How would you classify it, if you could?
It's indie rock, but very rhythmic, and the drummer's just super fun to watch live.
Cool.
He makes the whole set move and feel great with hardly ever hitting the snare drum, it feels like.
Nice.
Which is kind of unique and,
Yeah.
fun to watch. So great voice, great lyrics, just like a true band. Like they just seem like a good group of people that like playing together. And
It happens to be pretty good too.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're gonna play the first song that we chose, and it's called "Two Things." So enjoy.
Too close to mention all that you know. Things should come easy. talk about. That may seem easy till you think it out. And the hand to the fast, the keys to an engine. Monkeys have learned how to build them. Cold as the blood in our blue hearts.
Oh, what was that? Double
Encore.
That never happened.
Hey, that was really good.
That was good, yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, I love those guys.
That was like a better version of Vampire Weekend.
Yeah, it's got a good just groove to it, and
Yeah.
it almost has a little bit of a '90s thing
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, it does.
That I really like, and
It is, but
Yeah.
but it's always moving. I see what you meant by like the it's very rhythmically based.
Yeah, I definitely know. I heard what you're talking about the drums. How
Yeah.
he's not constantly on the snare drum.
Yeah.
Almost tribal in a
yeah.
way.
And if you see a set, he's just constantly doing what you wouldn't expect, but it feels great. It doesn't feel
I'd love
out
to
of
see them
place at
live.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've played a few shows in Orange County. They're from LA. The singer has a new project called Life Leon, I believe. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And that's a little bit more straightforward, just two fuzzy guitars, straight rock and roll, same drummer.
Cool.
And that's awesome too.
Is the Ross Sea Party still making music too?
Yeah, I think so. I think they just recently played a show.
Cool.
I know that the bassist just is moving to Japan.
Wow.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
So we'll have to play over Skype or something.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure they have a big circle of musicians around there.
Very cool.
And yeah, and I think that the producer for the new project has been playing with them live a little bit with that project. So
A la Jon O'Brien.
I don't know. Maybe he'll pop in with the Ross Sea Party or something.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm
Very
stretching
cool.
there.
That'd be
but-
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, and like an indie rock staple, like they're not just playing power chords or chords progressions. They're actually like moving around on the neck the entire time for like that chorus. I really like that. I really liked it a lot.
It's a great album. Great album.
What's the name of the album?
It's called Hotel Pool.
Hotel Pool.
Yeah,
Is it a
and-
full length? Is it EP?
Yeah, and it's a full length. They went up to Sacramento to the Hangar, which is no longer a studio, and they recorded it there over a few days. Came back to LA, finished it.
Nice.
And every song's just spot on. The
Very
mix,
cool.
the production, the performances. It's great.
Now, what did you have a hand in that album, or you did it before they made that one?
I didn't. I had heard a few of the songs in the sessions that I worked on with them, and they ended up on the album. I wasn't the same recordings though, but
Oh man.
kind of just
you feel betrayed?
earlier
Yeah.
versions of that songs. Well, I was just the assistant at that point, but I
so
loved
humble.
the songs.
Yeah.
Look at all that humble coming out of him. Humble pie.
Too much.
Actually, the clip that you brought up is one of those songs that was in the initial sessions.
Awesome.
cool.
What a great segue. Let's
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
This one's called Pressure. So enjoy, guys.
That's some really interesting sounds. I really dig these guys.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
I think that song definitely showcases Brady, the singer's kind of ability to take chances and makes up some interesting melodies. I remember the first time I heard that chorus, he kind of does this strange in-between falsetto and yell thing. It's not either or.
Yeah.
And was the guitar kind of following his melody in that too?
Yeah,
Did I hear that?
they do a lot of kind of counter melody stuff where the keys and both guitars and everything are following the same melody.
Very cool.
So-
I love when they do
I
that.
wish we could hear the entire song.
I know. I may have picked the wrong song for the
Yeah.
for the clip. Oh well. But I mean, if you guys want to hear the whole thing again, I got their stuff off of Bandcamp. It's available on iTunes, so pick that up. It's only $10, so for a full length. So.
And it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Actually, the song, the title track, Hotel Pool, it's pretty much instrumental for 80% of the song, and then at the end there's just a little verse.
Nice.
And
Wow.
I hate instrumental stuff, but that song I'm willing to listen to the first half just to hear that verse at the very end. It's
Wow. So it's that worth
definitely,
it, huh?
yeah.
There it
I
is.
really dig it.
Yeah.
Listen
Do
to that.
they have a big following? And if they do, where is it? Is it all
You know, I think they're one of those bands that's kind of flown under the radar, unfortunately. And I would love to see them play more often and play around here. And I'd just love to go to their shows. So hopefully something happens. You know, like this album still has plenty of shelf life as far as I'm concerned. If they just, you know, find the right footing for it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Orange County needs to open up their arms and say, "Come,
Yes.
Sea Party.
Yes.
We'll come to a show that you play."
Yeah, no kidding, man. I would love
Totally.
to see it.
Yeah, I will do that. I'm gonna start a Coney kind of campaign, but for Ross Sea Party.
I got you.
You
Okay.
know what Coney is, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing that failed miserably.
It failed so much. All right, but I'll try not to fail, though. I'll try not to fail. Look at that. Look, I'm so up to date on social things. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
Did they ever catch him?
I don't. Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea. We should look into that sometime.
Yeah, that should be
Because he was just like going around chopping off kids' limbs and stuff like that, wasn't he? And that what we were trying to
Yeah,
stop from happening.
Well, I'm pretty sure the guy that like led that movement ended up running around naked in San Diego and jumping on
really?
cars and stuff.
oh, so
and,
he was totally legit.
So he was a lunatic.
and, then,
reminds me-
and then that press just killed the campaign basically.
What an
Like,
idiot!
He
What was
kind
he
of just
doing?
I
He's
don't-
all like, "It's working! It's working!"
I don't know.
Funny that you say that, because that reminds me of a scene straight out of Thor 2.
I haven't
Oh,
seen the
that's
movie. I haven't seen the
right.
movie.
Yeah.
Spoiler
doctor,
alert.
yeah.
No, it's okay. I don't really
Is
care
it
about
Thor
those
just
movies.
running around naked,
Yeah.
jumping on cars? All right.
Have you
No,
not
it's
seen that?
Natalie
Have you seen that
Portman,
movie,
man.
John?
No.
Okay, I haven't seen it either.
It's entertaining.
I got
It's not
better
very
things to
good.
do than watch Thor.
All right, let's move on, guys.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about our book club.
Book club.
Book club.
Everybody, book club party, book club, everybody, book club day and night, book club's really tight.
All right, so we just asked John to dance, and he said, "Nope, I'm gonna drink."
I'm not going to dance. I'm not much of a dancer. I'll just drink.
At least he's a man of his word,
Yeah.
right?
That's a
He
real
did what
man.
he did. This week on Book Club, we listened to the new Billy Joe and Nora Jones collaboration album called Foreverly.
Yeah.
It was straight up a cover album of the
A cover
Everly
album.
of a cover album that the Everly Brothers put together back in the 50s. And given those parameters, guys, I really enjoyed it. I did. It was straight out of the age and time of when it was supposed to be recorded.
Yeah,
and
it
I think that's
was-
what they were going for.
Yeah, the album was definitely a time warp, you know?
Yep.
You listen to it and I don't know, there's something about the texture of the instruments that, although, you know, produced with modern technology, can really bring you back to that old sound.
Yeah, you know, I really like the production value was really good. I mean, they definitely accomplished what they set out to do, but it's definitely not an album that I'm gonna listen to again. And I'll tell you why. Because when I listened to it, I was driving, and it was putting me to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
literally,
mean, I almost
and-
fell asleep at my desk at work.
Yeah, and I'm not a big country fan. This is definitely kind of a deep country roots cover album. So, but that's kind of an unfair bias, you know.
Just because
Yeah.
you don't like that style of music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well executed, and for that, bravo. But it's not something I'm going to listen to again.
Yeah. Wait, John, did you listen to any of it?
No.
There's the door.
There's the door. There it is.
Oh boy,
We didn't have to cue him for that. Look
he
at
just
that.
booted himself. That's excellent.
What is the first rule of book club?
Listen to Book Club?
Okay, but you know what? I did watch like maybe a 5-minute YouTube video
Sure.
that was promoting the album, and there was clips from the songs, and what I did hear sounded really nice. And I heard Nora Jones sung on a Ryan Adams song called Dear John, I believe. I think it's on Jacksonville City Nights. So I can kind of imagine that I would I dig it because
Yeah.
I totally love her performance on
Yep.
that
Yeah.
song.
I've never hated anything that Nora Jones does.
Yeah,
like
and she is so
she's
goddamn
like
sexy.
I know. I was just gonna say that.
Every single way.
Who's her father? She's got a famous father.
Ravi Shankar. who was the
sitar player,
who
right? Yeah.
taught George Harrison
Yes,
how to
there
play
it
the
is.
sitar.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
She has a sister, by the way, who plays the sitar. I didn't realize this. Nora Jones has a sister who's still in India, I believe, who plays the sitar and makes sitar music.
Wait,
Wow.
I just put that together because I'm an idiot, but I didn't realize she was Indian. Whoa.
Oh, man. What's growling inside of you, man? Don't hurt yourself with that realization, dude.
loose.
Jesus. That reminded me of when we were filming the Hicks Canyon Band interview, and there was this promiscuous fart noise that kept coming out, John, out of your stool.
Yeah, and I tried to recreate it and I couldn't.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
That's right.
exactly.
I apologize for weird noises, but I like chugged a Rockstar before we started recording, and it's killing me. Man. Now I'm crying. So
Rockstar, is it in you?
You are a mess. You are a mess.
what was I saying? Yeah, she's Indian. That's really odd.
Yeah.
That's really odd. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But
Because
she's
Nora
and she's
Jones.
very fair skinned too. So,
Yeah.
in any case, the big.
Stay on
He's
target.
okay. He's okay. Yeah, stay on target. I think the biggest reason I wanted to listen to this album is because what an unlikely pair that you'd put together.
Yeah.
Nora Jones, jazz, pop, and Billy Joe, the biggest pop punk artist on the planet, essentially. And you wouldn't think of mixing those two, but then when you put them together in completely different circumstances that you're used to hearing them, it was really good. I thought it worked out pretty good.
I was expecting his voice to be very Green Day, and that's why I went into it very skeptical.
Yep.
But I don't know, like he has like another voice box or
He
something
does
because he
not
doesn't sound like him at
Green
all.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of bananas.
I just wish I could have seen Nora Jones' face when she first got that
Yeah.
email or that
yeah.
invite.
Yeah,
Just
we're
probably like
comparing you
like, wait,
with
what?
Billy Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked out.
Did the little John impression.
Yeah, great Nora impression.
But and I watched a little interview about the conception of the album, and they both agreed to only listen to because there's many recreations of these songs that they're covering on this album, but they only listened to the Everly Brothers version. So they didn't listen to any of the other recreations. It's like, we're gonna listen to this and retrack that. And that was their inspiration. And I listened to, you guys heard me, I was going to say I listened to some of the stuff. I listened to 20 seconds of
Yeah,
one
you did.
song, and it was completely identical to that.
That was accurate.
Yeah, it was very, very accurate. And I think that was the right way to go about it, to make it unique for this time. You know, I mean, maybe, just to kind of bring back and, the time warp of what it was then. And for that reason, I liked it. And, it's not going to be something I'm going to listen to all the time, but if I'm sitting out by a campfire
Yeah, I think there's a
eating
purpose.
roasted bunny,
It's got a purpose.
I'm listening to this album.
Eating a roasted bunny.
I will do that.
Wouldn't you want to listen to like something a little more
Metal?
a little more roasted bunny.
more like manly?
eating a bunny.
I guess.
No, I'm not going to be doing that.
All right, guys, let's give it a rating. Derek.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where it's. I thought it was, pulled. It was really well done, but is it something I'm going to go back and listen to constantly? Probably not.
So 10 out of
But
10, right?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. But I really did appreciate the effort, so I'm going to give them a 7.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Damn.
Josh, you go. I always go second.
No, go second. Okay, I'll go second. Well, I'm literally just going to echo what you said. It was nothing original. It was nothing that like went way outside the box. I won't listen to it again, so I'm going to give it the 7 as well.
Now, you're absolutely sure you will never listen to it again.
Not on purpose.
It's not an accident. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to listen
Yeah,
to
it's
that.
not honestly. It's not something that there's this really cool song in there. Like it's not the kind of music I listen to. It's again, it was really well done. They can cover the hell out of songs, and that's really all this proves. So boom, 7.
Yeah. John, you didn't listen to the album, but what you have listened to, what would you give it?
And you can't say 7.
I'd say 7. Yeah.
All right, Ben.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Ooh,
big
spender.
spender. There
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously liked it and talked it up, but yeah, it's a time and place album. It's not going to be something I revisit frequently, but it is. I thought they did a very, very good job, and I definitely commend them for their efforts. No game changer by any means, so yeah, I think 7.5 is a pretty accurate number to provide.
I mean, I think it's just really cool getting, two of the biggest singers, songwriters in their genre together to do something
completely different.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was a cool experiment.
Well, the thing is, I feel like the only reason that this thing is selling is because of that.
Those names.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think you're right.
True.
yeah.
Josh gives it a 4 now.
Yeah, I subtract 3 from that.
All right. I give it a 10.
Hey, I saw a picture of Billy Joe at the local cream tangerine the other day.
Oh, that was like a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago.
I don't know what the context of that is,
but
but
it's freaking cool. Yeah. What's he doing there?
There was a picture of him.
in the trailer.
Yeah. So someone cut out a picture of him in a magazine.
It's
me and Billy Joe. I'm gonna do that. That should be a thing we do. Like me and Billy Joe at the movies. No. He was actually there. He was wearing a hat and flannel because he's
that
guy.
He's done some stuff in Orange County before.
Well, yeah, he did a secret show at Tiki Bar. Yeah. That was a couple years back.
Places, that was
Tiki Bar.
That was
Why?
stupid.
Yeah.
John, did you hear about this? I don't know if you know what we're talking about, but Green Day played a secret show at the Tiki Bar, which is, nothing against the Tiki Bar, but they're not an A venue.
They're not a premier Orange
they're
County
not.
venue.
They're a little dirty, but we played there before, and we love them for it.
And they have a lobster vending machine.
That is true.
Okay, listen, I don't think it's the worst venue. It's just in the worst place ever.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Agreed. Someone put a lobster that they won from the lobster when we were playing there onto my keyboard. And I had a lobster on my keyboard for a little bit. Anyway, moving on. They played a secret show that was announced the day before at the Tiki Bar. And, it was announced the day before. And so me and my buddy on the day of said, what if not all the tickets are sold out? Let's go check it out. We drove down there. That is the busiest I have ever seen the Tiki Bar ever. There was a line wrapped around the freaking place that went down the street filled with people. And there was completely sold out. I mean, Green Day announces something, people are going to be flocking to it. And if you didn't get that announcement an hour after it was announced, you weren't getting in. So we went there. We thought we'd try it out because, Tiki Bar, no one knows about this place, and we did not get in.
Everyone knew about that place that day.
It was something else. It just shows the power of Green Day. That's what that is.
When I was in high school, I was in a band, and the singer of that band went to see Green Day at Verizon Wireless, and for a song, they'd pull up someone from the crowd to play bass during that song, and that was him. Yeah.
No,
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
I saw him at the Home Depot Center, actually the StubHub Center now, and that was a massive show because it's on the football field, so it was 50. The stage was 50 yards wide, and Billy Joe was just running, sprinting back and forth, and he's not a young guy, So by the end of the show, he was exhausted. But yeah, same thing. Pull someone up there. I was like waving my hand. No, choose me. I can play bass. Choose me. But nope.
You can't play bass, can you?
It's probably because I'm brown.
No brown bassists.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to move on.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah.
So
Very cool. What's next week for Bookclub?
for Book.
What is next week for Book Club?
We never decided.
Oh, we didn't decide.
You know what? I'm going to call it right now. You know why? Because Rolling Stone called Vampire Weekend's new album, and it's a couple months old. Actually, maybe several months old.
Don't you have it?
I do have it.
That's good.
But It was named #1 by Rolling Stone, so we should do that for next week.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, boom. Vampire. It's called
Someone is not a fan of Vampire Weekend.
Good save, Josh. Good save on doing
You know what? I never really liked Vampire Weekend, and I got this album somehow, and I really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
I read a little article about it, and it was recorded in something like 10 different studios with 20 different hands on it.
Wow.
And a lot of the band mix it themselves.
That's
and
an
it's just-
interesting
yeah.
approach.
So definitely a lot to
So it's a
look
very
into
hands-on
on that
project
album.
from
Yeah,
the band and
Totally.
collaborative efforts.
yeah.
Well, I'll go into it with an open mind, but
You say that, but I don't
know.
think you will be.
They're fighting an uphill battle with me. I'll be
Ben's a
honest.
hater.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a 10.
Just
right off the
already.
bat. Yeah.
Just preemptive 10.
10.
Okay,
All right,
so,
guys, we
so
have to move on.
next week we're doing the Arctic Monkeys. So listen to it and hear what we have to say about it.
Arctic Monkeys?
Did you do that on purpose?
No, that was actually a funny accident. I'm sorry. I tried to just breeze right over it.
He just wants to. He's in denial. We're not doing Vampire Weekend.
It's funny. That's funny. I screwed that up. We're definitely doing Vampire Weekend.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can't remember the name of the album, but
Yeah.
it's the newest one.
Yeah, let's move on.
News.
So we're doing that. All right, so next
hold
we're
on.
doing a segment that I like to call News. All right, so today we're going to start off here with show announcements. Real quick, May McDonough. I've been pronouncing I've been pronouncing her name wrong but the entire time I've known her because I've never actually met her. But anyway, she's doing her residencies at the Detroit Bar on Mondays, and I'm very excited to see her because it's been forever that I've known about her, but I haven't actually seen a show, so I'm looking forward to it. And John, I know you did some work with her.
Yep.
But to get through this, we'll have to get through it. So,
sure.
Wax Children and Deep Fields will be playing with her. It's a free show, starts at 9. Go to it. I'll be there.
Wax Children?
Yeah, that's the name of the band. Thursday is an enormous day for shows. First of all, we saw these guys at a show about 2 weeks ago. They're called Yukon Gold.
Oh, they're back.
They're back. And they're doing their album release show at the Detroit Bar on Thursday.
That's the show.
So we're going. Cool. We're going to be going to that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys put out. They have an interesting sound on stage and are very versatile rock kind of collaborative group. And I'm looking forward to what they do.
Two of the more talented guitar players that I've seen live.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I've never seen them, but you guys keep talking about them.
Just like they're the best thing ever. We're going to keep talking about them.
So it's Thursday of next week.
Thursday of next week. Well, of this week, because this comes out on Monday.
Oh, right.
So Thursday the 12th. Elijah Ford and Traders are going to be playing with them. Also on Thursday, Ranger will be playing in L.A. At the Silver Lake Lounge. And then Robert John and the Wreck will be at the Viper Room on Thursday. So that's going to be excellent. They are, as always, an excellent group to see. It was Bobby's birthday last week, and I was not there for it.
Happy birthday, Bobby!
Oh, that's right, last week.
And he said some obscene things to me via text message, but I don't give a crap because he's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Bobby. Happy birthday!
It was a fantastic show. It was Devious Means opened the whole night. Then it was Robert John, and it was his birthday, and then Silent Comedy, and man, great show, excellent show,
very good show.
So if you can see any of those bands, really, it's going to be a good night.
Cool. Wasn't it someone else's birthday last week too?
Jon O'Brien.
Oh, yeah.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
It's like, who are you talking about?
It wasn't me.
That's right. We I was gonna say we have the same birthday, but we don't. We're just both 26 now, so you know we're old men.
Yep, getting there.
Yeah. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Derek wants beer.
Yep. All right. On to music news. I only got 2 bits, and one of which we already kind of brushed on. Rolling Stones announced the top 50 albums of 2013. There's some controversy around it. People are not happy. Some people are happy. We posted a link about it on our Facebook. Tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
just as like a taster, Vampire Weekend #1, #2 is Kanye. So interesting.
what?
Yeah, Yeezus, I think is the name of his album.
Yeah, Jesus.
I haven't given that album a listen, but I hear
I've heard the same.
I've heard some good reviews.
So who knows?
And my other piece of music news, I thought it was kind of funny. Jay-Z turned 44 this Wednesday.
Yeah, but he didn't die.
But he did not die.
Okay, cool.
But he did go vegan, I read.
Good for Jay-Z. He's 44, guys. You know what? Like, he used to be cool. He was cool back in our day. Now
You don't
he's
think
like
he's cool anymore?
He's dad. You know, he's like telling goofy dad jokes. You know, I don't know.
I think he has the right to be goofy if he's making jillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? What, he's got like
I'm
his
not
own...
criticizing. I'm just saying we've watched a man go from cool hip to I am dad now. You
Cool
know?
whip.
Whip.
I mean, there's lots of cool people in their mid 40s.
Yep. New albums released this week. There's a whole bunch of them, but the ones that I'm going to talk about here is Muse released a live album. It's called. It's from Rome. It's a live from Rome Olympic Stadium. It's a CD plus Blu-ray. 24 tracks.
Second Law
Jeez.
stuff.
Actually, a whole
Second
mix,
Law tour?
everything.
So it's like
It's a Second Law tour, but there's a mix of everything on it.
So it's gonna be like what we saw in Vegas.
Pretty much. I don't think they played 24 tracks, though. I like to think that this is a little bit
Wow,
deeper
that's a hell of a concert,
into their.
Was it all one concert?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
They're one of the strongest live shows you ever see. Oh, you know what, John? I have to ask you because we've asked others who come onto the show. What do you think of Muse?
He doesn't like him.
I don't like them.
Wow.
Why don't people like Muse? God.
Yeah,
damn
yeah. What is your gripe with Muse? Not that you have a gripe, but why
Defend
not?
yourself.
Yeah.
It's too theatrical.
I love
That's
theatrics.
That's kind of what Bobby
Yeah.
said too. It was like the whole rock opera kind of
too
thing.
Yeah.
dramatic for you?
There's cool moments.
Yeah.
There's just a few songs that have stood out to me, and I like certain parts of it, but yeah, for the most part,
it's just too
thing.
much.
yeah,
That's
I
fine.
wouldn't buy one of their albums.
That's
fair.
fine. Your
That's fair.
loss. More from us.
You know, I'm
More
gonna
for
bring
us.
everyone.
It's a limited quantity.
We're gonna bring everyone onto the show
And ask 'em
who
that
doesn't who doesn't like Muse, and we're just gonna play Muse songs for them for the whole hour,
Yeah.
the entire hour.
Yeah.
Just
Would be
cranked in the
entrapment.
headphones.
Yeah. We'll just time to get like, listen to it. Like it. Also, I thought this was interesting. Boston. The old band Boston. Don't look back.
We know who Boston is.
Ben, we know who
They released a new album. They released a new freaking album.
I didn't realize they were still a thing. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't either.
How old are they?
The lead singer died.
Oh,
passed
so
away.
I do not want to hear
Many years ago. So
that is Boston. Like, how do you do dude,
No, it's not. Boston's actually keyboardist and guitarist, in my opinion. I think he's the main songwriter of the group, and they're always doing the dueling guitar solos and crazy like.
I could be wrong on this, but I think one of the finalists in The Voice right now on the show, The Voice, his dad is in Boston. I think.
Really?
He's in one of those bands.
Rigged.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, so we'll see how he does.
Also, interesting little tidbit. There was a kid at my high school who claimed his dad jammed with Boston before they were Boston, basically.
That's cool.
I call BS on that, like, hardcore.
All right.
But Boston was one of the first pieces of music that me and my father fully like
Got
you know
into.
like together like
cool.
hey Ben, listen to this song, and I'm like listening to
Daddy,
frickin'
that's awesome.
Chumbawamba at the time, and then
Chumbawamba.
hell yeah, everybody my age listened to Chumbawamba at some
one
point.
song, dude.
Some point. Anyway,
Lou Bega.
that was Lou Bega, the trumpet.
R.I.P.
In any case, I'm really excited for it. I don't imagine it's going to be any good. I'm not going in there with high expectations, but hey, good for them to still making music. That means the show's coming, and I'll watch that show. A new little thing of news this week in music. On December 8th, 1980, John Lennon was of the Beatles was gunned down in New York.
Boo.
So there's something for you.
December 8th.
That's what I found.
Oh, what day is that?
That is Sunday.
Oh, so that's
Sunday.
yesterday for you guys.
It is, yeah. December 13th, 1928, fashion was created with the invention of the clip-on
Hold on.
tie.
You're skipping over Pearl Harbor on December 7th, dude. I know,
that's
not really music related.
It's not really
but
this week, so and I didn't do this last week, so I that's just dipping in too deep. But hey, that happened too. So Ben Affleck was
never mind.
there. Sorry, too soon.
Is it too soon?
I don't know. Today, Thursday, this is last week as well, whatever, but it marked the 80th anniversary of the repeal of Prohibition, so...
cheers to that.
Yeah. So
cheers to that.
we wouldn't be able to drink these
there we
fine
go.
liquors.
Let's get some applause on that, too. Afterwards.
Cheers, and applause. Beautiful.
Oh, delicious beer. Thank you, U.S. government, for repealing your F up.
And my last little bit of news this week is a sad bit of news. Nelson Mandela died at 95 today, Thursday, the 5th.
That's a sad day.
It is a sad day. So I think that deserves another cheers or something.
Yeah.
But
To Nelson.
may your legacy live on. And that's my news.
Cool. Well, let's move on to
The main event.
The main event. I wish we... Oh, here we go. Drum roll. Is that the right?
Yeah. Touch it.
So today we'll be talking about Jon O'Brien.
We really got to make that beef it up or
terrible,
something.
dude. Just weak.
Yeah.
We just have some questions for you, John.
Shoot, go for
Who
it.
is your daddy and what does he do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do? Sorry.
What's happening, man?
I'm sorry.
That's all good.
I'm sorry. Someone asked me a question.
All right. So John, your studio is the Music Box. How long have you been at that location?
About a year and a half, a little less than a year and a half.
Let's talk about the whole process between you transitioning between essentially, out of your parents' house to the Music Box. From what I understand,
I think Josh wants to know for personal gain.
No. This is an interesting story. From what I understand, there was like a whole Kickstarter campaign, right?
Right.
Let's hear a little bit about that. How did you got that started, and what came of it, essentially?
Yeah, I started recording out of my parents' house, basically just a bedroom studio, and we would run a snake down to the living room and do drums down there. And I did that for probably close to 2 years. And I was just outgrowing everything. You know, my mom was great, and she would take out my siblings to go to Disneyland during the day and stuff.
They went to Disneyland all the time.
Yeah. So
7 days a week.
But I'd have to tear down the drums by 6:30, 7 o'clock. And if you're doing an album, like to have to set up the drums and stuff, and
That's got to
Mic
get in the way
them,
of
yeah.
things.
yeah, and
tough to
walking
get
up and down the
consistency,
stairs. I broke my heel at some point in that, so I was still recorded a couple albums while I was in the cast, and
Oh,
I'd
man.
be
Jeez.
hopping down the stairs.
You didn't install one of those like
And,
old man like escalator things for
No,
the stairs.
I was thinking about it, but yeah, and then eventually it was just like I need a studio, and I had saved a good amount of money myself. I had acquired a lot of gear. I had developed like a nice list of clientele, and I was feeling pretty confident, so I decided to sign a lease, and then I did the Kickstarter, which was strictly just for the build out.
Nice.
And a lot of the bands I'd worked with pitched in and helped me out with the rewards, and like playing a show, or bands would give me merchandise, signed CDs, signed records,
That's awesome.
whatever.
Oh, really? And you could kind of bid that off to
Yeah.
As
to
a-
people.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like
That's cool.
Young the Giant actually gave me like 3 copies of their album signed, and that was
Did you
great.
work with them?
I've known them for a really long time. I recorded their first EP as the Jakes.
The Jakes, yes.
right.
Yeah,
As the
and
Jakes.
I was in high school. That was probably my first recording I ever actually did that got printed. And,
Wow, that's amazing.
and then I was their tour manager as Young the Giant for a few months, a few years back, right before their album came out.
Cool.
Wow.
I did not know that. That's
That
really
is
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, that's very
But
cool.
I mean, that's like the American dream right there, dude. You really built something from nothing, and now you got your own place. You're almost,
Doing well.
yeah. It's
Yeah, and it wasn't the funnest recording out of my parents' house, but I wouldn't do it any other way looking back. I was able to build the gear and the clientele that really
And just grow from
made
the experience.
Yeah, and it made me taking the leap a lot less scary than it would be just someone being like, I want to record bands. Like I'm gonna lease this space and build a studio. I don't recommend that.
So a lot of people followed you over back to the Music Box, or like I guess what I'm asking is, how did you develop the connections? Were you going to shows? Did you just know people? Were they friends? How'd that happen?
Yeah, the majority of it is word of mouth, and just getting to know people from going out to shows. And I'll go see a band, and a band will open for them, and that band happens to know the opener, and they introduce me, and we just start talking. And yeah, it's great. Pretty much everyone I've recorded with comes back. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
I'm
Because of
proud of
nobody
that.
else?
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool.
I hope not. I hope it's because they like me.
Well, again, the name of John's studio is the Music Box, and it's in Tustin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
check him out if you want some recording. I'm sure at this point you could just pick and choose the projects you work on, right?
Like I've been asked that, and the truth is, just like any band or artist wants to develop their sound, like a band decides, hey, I want to write folk music, or I want to do an indie album, but this time I want to incorporate some like electronic stuff or whatever. I'm trying to develop a sound for me. I'm trying to make a record, a vibe, and not every band fits into that, and
I got you.
and it's kind of, sometimes there's a wild card where it's just like, you know what, like that doesn't exactly fit what I kind of want to go for, but like
Could be
I'm attracted to it for some
Right.
reason, and so yeah,
I was just say your work definitely has a voice about it. You can tell that there's a Jon O'Brien stamp on there.
yeah, and I really don't try and do that, but like the sound of the room and the bands that I like to work with, it ends up just kind of meshing together and creating a sound
And
unintentionally, just because it's what I like. That's how I like a guitar to sound, or that's how I like a snare drum to sound.
And you often
So-
guest appear on these albums too that you record for bands, don't you?
like crossover.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Sorry, like crossover between different people you've worked with, right? That's what you mean?
No. Like he's actually
Performing
featured.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
on
thought
the
you meant.
album.
I thought you meant guests appear on different. Forget it. Sorry, my bad. Because that's a different question. Go ahead. Answer that question.
Yeah, I end up playing on a lot of albums just because we always just kind of become friends throughout the
Yeah.
process, and there's that trust there that it's like, hey, like you don't mind if I just like hop on the piano real quick, like I hear something,
Yeah.
and I'm not a great instrumentalist. I'm not very good at like any one instrument, like I'm probably the most comfortable on like rhythm guitar, but like if a song's in the key of C, I could probably go play piano on it, and add something, you know. So that's usually what ends up happening, and it's just a collaboration.
So my question is this: I mean, everything I've heard of yours, there's always you're kind of not featuring, but you kind of use different instrumentalists and vocalists from different projects that you've worked with in the past. Is that correct?
Kind of trying to bring in some of the same people, you mean?
Well, I mean, yeah. So like, what album was it?
Didn't
Like
for Alice Wallace's album, didn't was it Moonsville?
You're thinking Ranger.
That was Ranger.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Moonsville came in and played on a couple songs, and then like on Jeremiah Red's EP.
Ranger and Annie McQueen were in there too.
Yep. Well, it was Nicole Ranger, Nilu, and Amy from. Well, she was in the band called Keepers of the Sun.
That's right,
now
Keepers,
now it's Victoria Foxtrot.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think Annie was at South by at the
right.
time. But yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's excellent. So, I mean, when you take on a new project, you definitely take on more than just an engineer, right? You're definitely, I mean, you produce,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
absolutely. I that's not fun to me, just to like press buttons
Yeah,
and
hit
set up
record.
mics. Like, it's you know, every once in a while someone will be like, "Hey, can we track drums at the studio?" You know, and because we don't have the budget for the whole thing or whatever, and it still kind of just depends like on the music and if I think those drum sounds are something that like I could excel at. You know, I tell people, I have told people, you know, like, listen, someone else loves what you're doing and they spend all their time on the computer reading about how they get that snare sound or that guitar sound for this genre of music. And you need to find that person,
Right.
you know, because
So what you're saying is you're not going to do metal anytime soon.
yeah, but you know,
He's not opposed to the
If it's indie metal
yeah, if a band like
with a horn
like
section,
the Bronx or
Oh, yeah.
Refused,
you know I can't believe you know the Bronx, man.
yeah, or
You ever
something.
heard Mariachi El Bronx?
Yeah.
That's a stupid good project. That's really cool.
So something like that,
yeah.
I'd hop on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to ask you, you know, because I kind of joke around sometimes. Like, I feel like you're the busiest guy in the music industry. You're always doing something, whether you're playing or whether you're recording or producing or going to shows.
Yeah.
How many bands have you played in? You know, because I've also seen you on stage many, many different times with not the same group.
Yeah. I'd say there's only a handful of like the bands that, you know, we see around here like frequently.
Yeah.
I was in bands in high school. That was kind of my thing, you know, and then we weren't good at all. I mean, like I would.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
That we have.
So, but yeah, like most recently, I played guitar. It's usually like if I play something on the album and they need to like recreate that live, I'll kind of fill in until they find someone who can like really do it full time. Because I don't have the time to to really like commit to that. Hicks Canyon Band has been the first band that I've been like, okay, like I want to be a part of this, and I want to play shows, and I want to rehearse every week, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
not that I didn't want to do that with the other bands, but it just worked out that way. You know?
And it also seemed like you played a big part in developing that sound that we hear on the album too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess it makes sense why.
I felt like I was in the band
Yep.
while we were making that record,
exactly.
you know? So it was just a really natural thing, especially since they only had 2 members in the band.
That's right.
Yeah.
They had a lot of space to bring people in.
Yep. Makes
Well,
sense.
now's a good time to plug that album, right? It's brand new.
Yeah.
What's the name
pretty
of it?
new. It's called River Deep.
River Deep, and you can find that on iTunes and
Yeah.
Bandcamp, and
totally.
check them out. It's Hicks Canyon
It's
Band.
a really great album.
Yeah, I've listened
I
to
don't
it
know
at
if
least
told
10
you.
times. It's pretty good.
It's really
Thank you.
freaking good.
I mean, I feel like I'm allowed to say that too because I was just a huge fan of Spencer's music
Yes.
before I recorded it. You know,
Right,
like
yeah.
it's an album that I would listen to even
Absolutely.
no matter who recorded it, you know, or whatever. And yeah, we're actually already working on new music.
Wow.
Excellent.
That is
Even
soon.
after that full length. I mean, it sounds like he's got a catalog, you know, that
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
down to the floor.
Yeah.
but-
Well, I mean, you could, and we did a artist spotlight with you guys, and we talked about that where you said that Spencer had, or I think he said that he had like 120 songs or something written or something.
Half that. But still.
You're close.
Yeah.
You're close.
I'm prone to hyperbole. I'm sorry. But it's check out our video. It's the artist spotlight with Hicks Canyon. They do 2 acoustic songs, and there's a very lengthy interview that's pretty relevant, even though we've passed that whole promoting the concert and stuff. So check it out. It's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we're out of time,
We are out of
unfortunately, because I
time.
have so many more questions. But again, support local music. Buy their stuff on everybody we talked about today. Lily Spects, Ross Sea Party, and that's ROSSSEA Party, not Ross Sea Party, like a C.
3 words.
3 words. Check out Hicks Canyon Band. Check out the Music Box Studio in Tustin, because they're always making stuff. Jon O'Brien, producer, engineer, lover, like I said before.
You,
Is that getting weird?
Just a little bit.
nah, that's cool.
Again, support your local music. Go out to shows. That's it. I
Yeah.
guess.
If you want to contact us, we're at podcast@unearthmusichub.com. Check us out on Facebook. We're at Unearth Music Hub, 3 words. Instagram and Twitter at unearth_MH. Follow us there. If you look at our Facebook page, we're always putting news up there and other cool stuff to look at. It'll probably be the best Facebook page on the internet in the next 3 weeks, probably,
Absolutely.
is what I'm forecasting. But
That's
listen,
bold.
It is bold, but it's the truth.
Oh,
John.
and guys, please subscribe or comment or give us some sort of reaction.
Give
We
us some love.
Keep the submissions coming, which
Yeah.
is awesome. We love the submissions.
Yeah,
So.
this is our second to last show until we end for the
Ever.
new year. No, we're coming back in January.
Yeah.
John, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you
It's
so
a
much,
pleasure.
John.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I honestly, I've listened to pretty much every single podcast. I think I missed the last episode, which I will
There's the
catch up
door.
on.
It wasn't that
Get
good.
out of here.
But really, like I've even spoken to people. I brought it up at shows. Just hey, have you listened to this? You know, I think it's cool what you guys are
cool.
doing.
Thank you.
That,
And
man.
I hope
Word
you,
of mouth.
hope you
Drinking
keep it
Ballast
up.
Point, talking about the podcast. What
Yeah,
a
we're
supporter.
getting
You're like the
We get the
ideal
pull.
like listener
Yeah.
viewer, man. That's perfect.
You were like the user on Spotify who listens to the album.
Okay,
And then
we're not going to get into
That's what I
this.
want to talk about.
We're
for the
not
next,
getting into
oh
this.
boy,
We're not getting
Spotify!
into
Holy
this.
crap!
You know what I like about it is I'm working around music all the time. I don't really want to listen to music all the time in my free time. So I just love it's still talk about music, but not necessarily like actual music coming
not
at me like
saturated with
24/7. And the information's great, and yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about, but we were going to keep talking about nothing for the next. For infinity. I
Forever.
guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you've been
good.
following us, thank you for the support. We will do a quick little wrap up at the end of next week's episode.
And I hope you guys enjoy the new Christmas tree if you're watching us.
Oh,
Because a lot of effort went into that.
Too much effort, to be honest with
You
you.
guys, if you viewers can see the topmost ornament, that is Josh as a, I don't know.
As an infant.
that was
an infant,
Josh
I
a
don't
year ago.
yeah. Beardless. It's great. Well, we're completely out of time, but we're going to leave you guys with Merry Christmas and enjoy.
Well, Merry almost
Sorry,
Christmas.
Happy Holidays, because we do have one more episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed also our fire. So,
Yep.
woo hoo hoo.
Woo hoo hoo!